Now, peace. Let me give you an example of peace, a story from my life. I'm going to start with this idea of scuba diving. Now, how many people have ever been scuba diving? Yes, go handful, a couple people in the house. We live in the desert. Of course, none of these people have been scuba diving. It makes perfect sense. We live hundreds of miles from the ocean. And I'm like, how many people swim underwater? They're like, yeah, there's like 4 of us. What are you talking about? Well, as a desert kid, man, I loved the ocean. I can't tell you how much I love the ocean. I love the ocean so very much. I think it's because we didn't have the ocean, so it seemed like a mythical place that didn't really exist. Anybody? It was like a really, really big swimming pool. I was like, I love this idea. I'm going to go there someday. No, and so every time I get a chance to be in the ocean, it's like, man, you couldn't get me out of the ocean. Loved it. And so when I became an adult, one of the first things I did was learn to scuba dive and go and take the classes and become scuba certified. And it's amazing because it's this underwater world of all this stuff. And man, it's really uncharted in a lot of ways. Like we've been to the tops of the highest mountains and scanned all sorts of stuff. We still don't know about some of the things underwater. It's pretty amazing. And when you're under there, man, it's like this whole other world. It's peaceful and colors and all the cool stuff. And it's absolutely terrifying because there's stuff under there that we find all the time, brand new, scary monsters with big teeth that live in the darkness of the ocean. It's a great time. You should really try it. It's really super fun. And it's also why my wife won't get in the ocean at all. I'm like, want to be my dive buddy? She's like, no, pass. Nope, not going to do that. But I love it is one of the things you first learn actually is about your kit. And one of the things that is most vital to you is actually your mask, your dive goggles. And the reason your mask is so important is because without your mask, you can't see anything. And there are a lot of people that have drowned because they got messed up because they couldn't see where they're going. They didn't know what direction they were going because they didn't have their mask on. And see, it's interesting because if you get in the ocean, yeah, you can open your eyes, but it's going to be blurry. So you can have all this intentionality. You can drive hundreds of miles to the ocean. You can get in a wetsuit. You can get in the ocean. You can go underwater, even with oxygen. But if your mask isn't on, well, then you're not seeing clearly. And that's the same thing for us spiritually, is that we can put all this effort into doing all the right things, but if we don't have the right perspective, the perspective of God, then guess what? It's going to be blurry and a mess, even if we put all that effort into it. And so, friends, that's why we talk about perspective, because it changes the way we live our lives. It's such an important thing.